Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Salomon XA Supermatic. That's right, Salomon has Supermatic technology. Now, if you're thinking of picking this up or anything else mentioned in this review, we do have affiliate links down below, so you don't have to go hunting for it in the description. And if you're shopping locally, go into your local shop, slap them a high five, and say we sent you. I rode this binding at Arapahoe Basin on a day that was overcast. There was high winds. There was about 3 to 5 inches of heavy snow that had fallen, creating a nice layer of pow to dust on crust, mainly because there was icebergs in there. Like you'd be making a big pow turn and slam, you just hit it and you're going down like the Titanic. The groomers were firm and fast, a little bit choppy and chundery, some slush or softer snow at the bottom of the mountain, and I used these on my Ride Shadow Band snowboard with my K2 Thraxis boots. You are limited on the amount of adjustments you have on this. You have a forward lean tab on the Highback to change your forward lean, obviously, and then you have flip tabs on the heel and toe straps. There are 3 of them. And you want to make sure that the middle one is a little more loose. This allows you to get in and out a lot easier, but that is it for adjustments. Those 3 give you the most because you can lengthen or shorten the strap depending where you want it to sit on your boot. I guess I should say you can move the toe ramp a little more forward or backwards as well, but that's kind of obvious at this point and you're only moving it like that much. These are the exact same straps that Nidecker uses on their Supermatic, so there's no difference there. You do have the toe strap that's kind of pre-curved and cupped out. This will fit most boot shapes relatively easily. Then the heel strap, you get a little bit more play in it laterally just because of how it's designed, but through the middle it's a little bit more rigid, so you're going to notice that when you drive into it. The big thing, as I've previously mentioned, is that middle strap needs to be a little bit looser. And that way, when you go to slide your foot in, you won't have problems with it being impeded. I see comments from people that are like, I have to constantly adjust the straps and it's just like using it like a regular binding. Well, then you set it up wrong. Now, the big thing is if you have last click syndrome with this, that can really affect how you get in and out of it. So if you really crank these down, you may end up with some issues getting in and out. You're not really going to be using these a whole heck of a lot, but they're basically Nidecker ratchets. So you got that 1-finger quick release, they climb, you know, you're going to leave them locked in. Now, the one thing that I want you to note is I think these sample pair were a little broken. Like I couldn't feed the ladder on this right one in right away. I ended up having to hold the release tab and then sliding it through to get it to feed, then lock it down. I just noticed that somewhere inside the tab seemed to have broken or done something that was pushing it down, so I had to kind of jerry-rig it to get it in. But being that it was my front foot, it's not like I'm in and out. Like I pretty much locked these in for the day that I was riding and then just skated around. And the back one I had no problem with. Want you to be aware of that. Just double check it when you get them, look at it, make sure everything looks like it's working. Now these are samples. Samples sometimes have issues. I'm not saying you're gonna have issues. I want you guys to be aware of that though. All right, we're about halfway through this video. Why don't you go down, give it a thumbs up or down, doesn't matter. It's interaction either way. And if you're new here and you haven't already, subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the programming we've got coming out for you. Well, it's a Salomon Highback through and through. It's probably the only piece on this that's actually a Salomon one, and it's soft. I mean, there's like next to no rigidity in this. When you push back into it, you're pushing through it for the most part. It's the softest Highback on a Supermatic I've ridden to date. There is a lot of play in it. It really doesn't feel like it was giving any added support compared to like the Nidecker LT, the carbon Supermatic, the regular Supermatic, or the bent metal Lightening Supermatic. So the XA seems to have the softest Highback out of any of them that I've used. There's just a lot of play in there with it. Now that forward lean tab is really easy to use. You flip it up, you can slide that forward lean up or down depending where you want it and lock it back into place with ease. The big thing about any Supermatic is they have a huge dead spot underfoot. Big disc, big tray. This reduces lateral flex in a board. I noticed that right away on my shadow band. When I was trying to butter or play around, it just wasn't there. There was this bigger dead spot, so I was really moving it out further than I would on other bindings. This has to be one of the biggest dead spots on the market. Now with the straps and the Highback, you get a little bit more play up there. You're gonna feel, especially with that Highback. That is the softest Supermatic Highback that I've used to date. Now the big thing is these do have added weight, and that coupled with the big dead spot, some people are not gonna like that. Just be aware of it. Now with this having that huge dead spot, you get a lot of that chatter coming in from the nose or the tail reduced. One thing that I did notice, and this started with me riding the Nidecker LT version of the Supermatic, is these tend to have more chatter underfoot than the first generation Supermatic I rode, or even the Carbon Supermatic. You get that rumble under there, and it just, you can feel it a little bit more. And that's kind of concerning when you're really charging and you're like, why am I getting this like rumble right under my toes? And I noticed it, like I said, on the LT version of the Supermatics from Nidecker, and I noticed it on these. So it's something that seems to be consistent, at least with the newest version of that. A lot of you probably aren't gonna feel it, because let's be real, if you're looking at this binding, you're not a hard charger. As much as you think you are, you're not. I'm sorry. Rider in mind, this binding is for someone that wants easy entry and likes supporting Salomon, or someone that wants a Supermatic with a softer Highback. Like what we're doing over here? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. Well, it's a rebranded Supermatic. The only difference is that Highback, it is softer. Otherwise, it's the exact same binding across the board. You are gonna see more licensed technology like this out. I've heard rumblings that certain other brands are gonna be getting Supermatic in the future. But right now we've got Salomon and Bent Metal going into the 2026 season. It's one of those things. Is this a binding for me? God, no, it's not. It's too big of a dead spot. I do not like that I do not like that reduction in board feel. It's not for me. I want a more precision based. If I was gonna do an easy entry binding, honestly, I'd do FASE. That's just who I am. That rides closer to a real binding. Actually, it really rides like a real binding. This, there are limitations in it. There's pros and cons. The weight is the biggest con in my opinion. These are heavy, they're bulky. Like, you can feel that added weight, and then the size of it gives you that bigger dead spot. And as more companies and as just technology has progressed, we're trying to get more of a lively feel, more play. This reduces it. Now, for someone that's older, they want a bigger dead spot. They've got knee or back injuries that prevent them from bending down. They want that easy entry. They're cruising blues. Yeah, it's probably absolutely fine for you. Comparable bindings: the Nidecker Supermatic, the Bent Metal Lightning Supermatic, the 32 Team FASE. So for those of you that are wondering, like, is Supermatic for me or how much easier it is, the big thing is if you adjust the straps perfectly, when you go to get in, you want to go toe heel instead of heel toe like you would with a normal binding. A lot of people are out there clod stomping on these things and they're like, they don't work. When you slide in, you're going to go through the Highback, you're going to hit that wheel on the back, the heel's going to catch, and boom, you're locked in there. It's easy. At this point now, from testing these, it's become second nature. All I do is I go, hey, I gotta go toe heel on it, remind myself that, boom, I'm in, I'm out. To release, you just push down that tab, step out, and that pulls it up. It works. It's easier to get out of these than a flow. It's better than that clue bullshit. It's similar to FASE. I think FASE actually is a little bit more performance based and takes a little bit different effort to get out of, if you will, but these, they work. Like I said, they get the job done. All right, this has been my review of the Salomon XA Supermatic. If you're not feeling it, go watch one of our other videos. We got so many other videos.